So, tell me something terrible.
Did it legit pick that fart up?
Stop it, yes. All right, so this is the part 2 of the double trouble.
I mean, unintentional part 2, but yeah.
Oh, a not planned part 2, but now it's a part 2?
Yeah, I just stumbled across it and was like, oh, wow, this also has really sad.
I've seen you walk. You stumble often.
I do.
Okay, I've almost fidgeted enough.
It took me a really long time to convince my friends that it's not because I'm drinking, and it's because I'm just naturally klutzy.
Yeah.
Like the ones who haven't known me my whole life.
Flat pavement gives you trouble. It's tricky out there on the streets.
Or the sidewalks.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, there's not flat. Anyway.
I have legitimately tripped over a sidewalk into a parking lot.
It
was all flush.
Your middle name should just be Grace. Mm-hmm. Anywho, my mic. I think I've got it right.
Okay. Hopefully mine's right, too.
I've touched it 9 times, so...
The struggle's been real this evening.
Yeah, that's not the ASMR you're here for. Mm-mm. Anywho.
Instead, our lovely voices are.
Yes, welcome
You ready
to the podcast.
You ready to introduce ourselves?
Sure.
Hi, I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Scott.
And you're listening to Tell Me Something Terrible.
Yeah, yeah. It looks like you were really searching there for the title of this podcast.
I couldn't remember if we did this for the last episode. Did we even introduce ourselves last episode?
So. I think at one point we did.
All right.
I like to think we did.
Sure.
Don't actually know if we did.
Nope, because we don't go back and listen to this. We rely solely...
I listen to it.
I guess, yeah, a little bit,
I have to edit it. I don't edit it much. I edit it when I need to.
Okay. Well, hopefully there's no more hiccups. We've got that out of the way.
Correct. So, quick. You want to give a quick backstory on what happened last pod?
Oh, I mean, this is like separate.
Okay.
It was just like a blurb.
How we got to this topic.
Yeah. So the last one was about shark finning and how horrible it was. And then I came across this documentary called Shark Water Extinction. And I'm like 92% sure that I watched his first documentary when I was like a teenager because it came out like 15-ish years ago.
Yeah.
And so I found the most modern one, like the most current one of it. And that's where I got a lot of info for the last one. And then like halfway through, like the tone started to change and people started being like...
That's sad.
They were starting to use like past tense. And they're like, yeah, the last time I saw Rob was this. And I was like, oh shit, this guy died. How did he die? And so now I'm going to tell you how he died.
Terrific.
Because I just thought it was just an accident. And then I started actually looking into it like 10% more. And I was like, oh, this actually needs its own episode.
Oh, so it's a hit?
It's not a hit. It was an accident. Mm-hmm. It's just a confusing situation. It's still sad as well. Because he was such a conservationist, you know?
Yeah.
So...
Okay, so put on your sad pants.
Yep.
Grab some chocolate ice cream.
Yep. And some bunny slippers.
Do you have your slippers on?
No, I don't.
Oh my! What a poser!
I know.
Talks the talk, doesn't walk the bunny walk.
I wore my bunny flippers this morning, though. You made fun of me.
I did.
Yeah.
All right. Also, if you don't follow us on social media, shame on you. Second, we've had a Witcher themed day. Mm-hmm. I took 2 days off of work to binge the second season of The Witcher.
Because we're responsible adults.
Right? Well, we're parents. And then we made...
I can do what I want with my vacation,
right,
thank
exactly.
you.
And we did Witcher-themed meals all day, which thankfully this evening for me has included copious amounts of red wine. And then we got halfway through. We're going to do hopefully an episode or 2 after this and then finish up tomorrow.
Yep, because he took a nap so we could be up till 2 a.m. And I wasn't aware of this information until an hour ago. And he's like, yeah, why do you think I napped? I'm like... All right, I might need coffee.
Yeah, that's your 30s in a nutshell, folks.
Yes, it is.
Anywho. So here we are. We're going to learn about Rob.
Stewart. Rob Stewart.
Not Rod. Correct.
Yep. Apparently there's also a Rob Stewart that's an American actor.
Rob Stewart?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. This guy's from Canada.
Not an actor.
Nope.
Okay.
So.
I feel like if I Google Rob Stewart, it's going to autocorrect and be like, I'm showing you responses for Rod Stewart.
Maybe. Google's the worst.
Rob Stewart, Canadian photographer.
Mm-hmm. There was another one who wasn't Rob Stewart, like who wasn't the Canadian photographer.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yep.
No, but he's also a Canadian-born actor.
Oh, the other guy? The meathead-looking motherfucker?
Yeah.
Because Rob Stewart, the Canadian activist, is like the exact opposite of a meathead.
He plays the lead role in an action comedy television series, Tropical Heat, and has recurring roles in Nikita
Is it like Tropic
and
Thunder?
Killjoys. I have no idea.
Oh. The more we know. Instead, I'm going to tell you about this really sad story about another Canadian named Rob Stewart.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds fun.
Yep. So an 8 to 9 year old Rob Stewart was snorkeling in the ocean. He encountered his first shark. It was
How old?
8 to 9, like 8 or 9 years old.
Seems young.
So he encountered his first shark, who was a reef shark. He remembers it being horrified at first, but as he looked at this shark, startled and swimming away, it dawned on him that this man-eating predator was significantly more afraid of this tiny little boy than he was of the reef shark.
Okay.
Fast forward a few years, and Rob earned his certification in scuba diving. And by 18, he
Doesn't scuba stand for something?
Yeah, something about their breathing apparatus.
That would make sense with the BA at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then by 18, he had earned his certification to teach scuba diving.
2 for scuba.
Yep. So fast forward a few more years. After earning multiple degrees in biology, zoology, and marine biology, he agreed to go on an assignment to a pair of islands called Darwin and Wolf. You want to give one guess where they're at?
Galapagos?
Yes.
Nice. I love when I actually know an answer. It helps my self-confidence just so much.
So it was off the coast of Galapagos Islands, and
don't ask me where on the globe that is, but you said Darwin, so I can connect
I'm
the dots.
going to be wrong because last time that I was like, oh yeah, it's over by like the Philippines. It was like 2,000 miles away from the Philippines and these tiny little islands.
So you don't know where the Galapagos Islands are either?
I have a general idea. It's kind of where Leslie's from.
Galapagos. Okay, I don't know how to spell Galapagos either.
Me neither. I was corrected multiple times.
Galapagos Islands. It's searching from. It's in Ecuador.
Oh yeah, that would make sense. With my next sentence, all of a sudden everything will make sense.
Will it? Okay, so that's like, just go straight south of here, and when you hit the equator, boom, you're on Wolf Island. And by south of here, I mean south of like New Orleans.
Okay.
Go down through the Gulf of Mexico, hop over Guatemala, go about the same distance to the Gulf of Mexico, you're in the Galapagos.
See, I just assumed the Galapagos Islands was near all of the other islands in that like stretch of Indian Sea.
It's like dead on the equator.
Oh,
Straight off. Straight off.
Oh my God, everything's dawning on me.
What?
Of course it's on the equator because the Ecuadorian military protects the preserve.
Oh, yeah.
Duh.
The equator.
I can put 2 and 2 things together, come up with 4.
Anyway.
So.
Oh, the Galapagos Travel Center is closed for the day, but they'll open tomorrow at 8:30 a.m.
Oh, thank you.
Google thought we should know.
Time to plan the trip, guys.
Right.
We're going to go to Paris, Michigan, and then we're going to go to the Galapagos Islands.
Oh, we got to hit that bridge in Arizona on our way.
Oh, yes. So as this boat was approaching the islands in the early morning light, he said that you could see 2 poles sticking out of the water with black flags on top. These poles were markers for a long line. So we talked about long lines in the last episode.
Not a pirate ship.
Not a pirate ship.
Yeah.
So this particular line was 60 miles long. I had to re-listen.
Miles?
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
I had to re-listen to the interview that I found thrice to make sure that they said 60.
Nice.
Because at first I was like, 60? No, he had to have said 16 and listened to it 2 more times. I was like, no, he said 60.
That's still a very long line.
Mm-hmm. There were 16,000 baited hooks hanging from this long line, and there were hundreds of sharks dying on those hooks.
Oh, like actively?
Mm-hmm. And it was specifically, it was put there to hunt the sharks. Mm-hmm. And this all took place in the most protected marine reserve on the planet, guarded by the Ecuadorian military.
Yes.
And which we learned is on the equator.
I like turtles.
And
that's their slogan. I don't know if you knew that.
Really big turtles.
Yeah.
And that was the day that Rob Stewart decided that he needed to do something about the decimation of the shark population.
I wish I knew more Rod Stewart, because I know who he is and I know his face, but like if you asked me to sing his songs, I got nothing.
Absolutely not.
But I feel like I could really drop those in here as we went.
Just riff off his songs and turn them into shark parodies.
Yeah. Because
So Rob Stewart went on to become a highly rewarded journalist and marine photographer, winning over 40 awards for his first documentary, Shark Water, in which he went undercover visiting 15 different countries to expose the seedy underbelly of the shark finning industry. So this prompted him to create a sequel to Shark Water Extinction, which I've mentioned multiple times. I still think everybody should go watch it. It's awesome. So this film was finished.
We don't just shamelessly plug ourselves. We shamelessly plug other,
we're a big fan of shamelessly plugging everything.
Yep. Anything that's useful.
Yep. So this film wound up being finished by his family and world-renowned editor Nick Heckler because Rob Stewart died after his infamous third dive on January 31st, 2017.
Big Heckler fan, actually. I like his work. Just kidding. I have no idea who he is.
Honestly, I looked at you like, oh my God, you know you're aware of film editors? Like, no random shit. I wouldn't be surprised if you if you were like down a rabbit hole.
If he had a very useful like YouTube channel on like instructional stuff, then maybe. But
I doubt it. This guy works in Hollywood.
Yeah, no,
he gives two shits about YouTube. Yeah. So what follows is a story of losing one of the world's best conservationist activists, a son and a brother, and the story of a tragic death, alleged negligence, possible evidence tampering, a coroner with a vendetta, and a civil case that has dragged on for, as long as I can tell, the last 5 years.
Terrific.
And that's why I was like, what? I was like, I'm going to do a little blurb, like a little paragraph,
Do we have to say anything about like this is a pending thing and we?
Yeah, I mentioned it right now. It's pending. A lot of this stuff is alleged. It was done in a documentary.
Do your own research. Don't make any hasty accusations about.
I found a documentary done by the CBC. CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Channel, because he's from Canada.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of this stuff, obviously, a lot of it's alleged.
Like you said, CBC. Like I should know who CBC is.
Yeah, I listen to enough podcasts that are produced by the CBC. You should know them.
Noted.
So nearing the end of filming for shark water extinction, Rob and his team headed down to the Florida Keys to investigate a shipwreck, the Queen of Nassau.
Okay.
Want to double check my pronunciation?
No, I trust you.
Okay. So they had heard that there was a species of sawfish, which we learned in the last episode are fully endangered and will go extinct eventually. Every single one of them.
It's more like hedge trimmers than sawfish anyway.
The ones with two blades just hacking away at the coral. So they heard that there was a species of sawfish mating and raising babies at this shipwreck. It was known for it. So this shipwreck was also notorious for having near zero visibility.
Oh, okay.
So earlier in the summer, Rob and his team, he died in January, but earlier, the year before, Rob and his team had also made contact with a man named Peter Solis, who is a rebreather, dive instructor, and owner of Horizon Divers / Ad Helium. That was they're companies.
Okay. Still don't know who he is, but yeah.
Yeah, so they take people out on technical dives that required specialized training with the rebreathers and the deep dives.
Special tanks.
Yes.
I've watched enough Expedition Unknowns.
Yes. So Rob had experience with rebreathers and deep diving before from the last time that he made a documentary.
Well, if he's been diving since he was a child, essentially.
Yes. So rebreathers are a form of air tanks that are frequently used for long and deeper dives by cave divers in the military, etc.
That's what we should call people, not zombies, but people that have near-death experiences that almost lose their life. Just start calling them rebreathers. They stop breathing, and then all of a sudden they start breathing again.
Oh, they're a rebreather?
Yeah, instead of a zombie.
Yeah, near-death experiences? Yeah. When the zombie apocalypse comes, we'll make sure we coin that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's going to happen. Anyway, rebreathers are a form of air tanks that are frequently used for the longer dives. They basically recycle the air that you're breathing, allowing you to go on dives up to 6+ hours.
Oh, so it's like astronauts drinking their own urine?
Yeah, there's gases and stuff. I didn't understand exactly. I tried to go through the Wikipedia, and I was like, sure, makes sense.
It's pretty much you have a plant in your pipes, and you breathe into the plant, and then it lets you rebreathe it.
Well, from the sounds of it, it was when you exhale, you have a lot of carbon dioxide, but there's also trace amounts of O2 as well, and that is captured and re-put into the tank, and then everything else is filtered out.
Yeah, it's like plants.
Yeah, so the benefit...
They synthesize. They pretty much made artificial plants. Yes,
inside of something you carry on your back.
I have don't make that sound like I know what I'm talking about, but that has to be how it works.
In your mind, it's like on Wall-E with the plant that was in the refrigerator, except that's what you put inside of these air tanks you take down with you.
Yes.
Yeah,
and you just breathe on it and hope it has enough air. Yeah, to it can
give you oxygen.
It can go fast enough that yeah. Hold on, pause for the cause. Big swig drink over there.
I'm going to need another one.
Red wine hater.
So the biggest benefit of using a rebreather instead of the traditional scuba tank is there's a complete lack of bubbles. So the lack of bubbles allows you to get closer to wildlife in the oceans and other.
Scare them off.
Yes, exactly. They don't get scared. You can get better footage, which gives you better footage. I already said that. I just skipped over 2 sentences.
Also, if there's a background hum in this episode, it's because it's 4 degrees out and our furnace never stops running. So just accept it.
Yes.
It's so cold out right now, and it won't stop
What's the
running.
real feel? Is it?
Don't look it up. Read your story,
okay.
lady. I just wanted to clarify that sound you hear is our furnace constantly running because it's so fucking cold in Michigan.
So we don't die. And our house is a little old and a little drafty.
It's not us. It's your stupid parrot that would die first.
That's true. Yes, she would. She's not stupid.
She's our cave canary.
Oh, yeah. Our house cockatoo instead. Mm-hmm. So Rob and his friend Brock, they completed the rebreather training. Peter
Brock,
said...
what a white name.
Yeah. Yes, he looks exactly like you'd expect to be. Kind of slightly
squared
curly.
off shoulders.
Yes, slightly curly, like kind of a little closer shaved, brown hair, like all American, 100% stereotypical. Looks like every other white guy. Brock
Drinks Budweiser.
I don't know. We can't say anything too mean about Brock because he lost his friend.
That's true, but that doesn't mean.
Yeah.
It's just assumptions.
Yeah. He probably drank a lot of Budweisers after this. He was like, let's get smashed.
Right.
Processing some things. So, according to Peter, he said that Rob was an excellent student. And later, Rob invited Peter to come along on the trip with him as a diving team, not as an instructor.
Okay.
So, the plan was to do a dive a day over the course of 3 days to get footage. So, on January 30th, after coming up from their second dive, there is footage of Rob saying that when they were at the 220 below
220
mark,
meters?
Yep, 220 feet, not meters.
Oh.
You'd be crushed. That's 600 plus feet. You would die. That atmospheric pressure would,
You said 220. I was like, meters?
No, 220 feet, which is not 220 meters. I don't know what it is because we were raised by the American and educated by the American.
You don't know what 220 feet is in meters?
Yeah, you have to divide it by 3.
It's like 70.
Is it? Oh yeah, because 21 is. Yep, it's fine. But
it's like 3.1 meters. Anyway.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Sure doesn't.
I studied art. So they're 220 feet below the surface.
Shout out to our non-American listeners.
Yeah. Literally everybody else in the world shouting it out because we're the only ones that use imperialistic measuring. My Lord, I might not get another Vizzy. I'm struggling.
Right? I'll go brew that coffee pot for the second page of this.
Thanks. We got some whiskey to add.
How long is this one?
Long.
Oh my.
So there's footage of Rob saying that when he was at the 220 feet below the water mark.
At the 220 feet.
At the 220 feet, the 70 meters, he could feel the CO2 building in his chest and started to get tunnel vision.
Okay.
Underwater at his second dive.
That's scary.
Yep.
Doesn't bode well for his third dive.
No, this is his second dive on the first day. They're doing 3 days of diving.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So the next day, which is January 31st, everyone was feeling fine. They did 2 dives and decided to call the attempt to get footage of the sawfish just quits.
Okay.
The visibility was so poor, and it was worse than usual, and it wasn't going to get any better. So as they were wrapping up, which is approximately 5:30-ish p.m. or so on January 31st, the crew realized they didn't have the equipment needed to retrieve the float line that they had attached to the shipwreck. So they were like, oh, we're coming back. The first day they went out, attached this float line so that they could find the wreck again and dive again.
Yep.
The plan was to get it the third day, but they changed their minds and weren't going to do a third day. So they had no way to get this float line.
Yeah.
And so Peter decided that he was going to go down for a third time that day to retrieve this $15 piece of equipment.
Okay.
Important, right?
Super important.
Mm-hmm. So Rob decided to go with Peter, and Peter told him that he was fully capable of going down alone, but Rob insisted that he join him.
Yep.
So on the way down the line, there was a hammerhead shark that swam right up to Rob, inches away. And then the retrieval was successful. The pair headed back up to the surface. During the rise back up, So it takes a while. You can't go too fast. They were joking between each other with sign language about how, of course, like a shark would swim right up to Rob when he doesn't have any filming equipment.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even like he was going down there to try to catch
To document anything.
Yeah. He was just like, I'll go with you.
Yep.
Because it's good to swim, at least in buddy partners, right?
Yeah.
They did push their ascent like a little faster than normal, but not so much so that they were in danger of getting the bends, which is technically called decompression sickness. You want it to be, all official and stuff. Sound real smart.
Technical diver. We have a lot of professional divers that listen. So
yeah, they dive and listen to our podcast.
Yeah, just throw it in the headphones.
That's impossible. So Peter surfaced first, with Rob trailing about a minute or two behind him. Peter swam for the boat and was pulled on deck just as Rob was breaking the surface. The crew waved at Rob in the water, who then he waved back, indicating that he was okay. And this all happened just as Peter was starting to babble and then passed out on the boat.
Okay.
And Rob's still in the water.
And he's about to do the same thing.
That's the assumption.
Yeah.
Okay. So Peter's wife and business partner and other crew members were tending to the visibly sick Peter, giving him oxygen as soon as he started to pass out. So a line was then thrown out to Rob in the meantime, and Brock yelled at him to grab the line, which was just like 10 feet or so from Rob.
Okay.
And Rob wouldn't swim out for it. Yep. So they knew something was wrong with Rob.
Yeah.
And Brock was at the stern of the ship. And in the chaos, witnesses said they remembered Brock being yelled at to keep an eye on Rob in the ensuing chaos. But Brock doesn't remember being told that. But he did try to keep an eye on his friend regardless. But as the boat had to turn around to retrieve Rob from the water, during that short time, just 10 seconds or so, everyone lost sight of Rob.
So it started sinking?
Yes. So Robert had finally rallied and heard them talking about looking for Rob, thinking maybe they just turned the boat in the wrong direction. Mm-hmm. But instead, Rob had slipped under the surface of the water. So it's just a series of horrible events.
Yeah.
So Brock had actually jumped into the ocean to try to find his friend. So that's why you can't make fun of Brock. Like
I wasn't making fun of Brock.
Shit.
Yeah.
He might not like Budweiser's. He might be an IPA guy.
No, he's not.
Are Budweiser's IPA?
No.
Okay. I know beer.
I'm so good at the alcohol.
They're both yellow. So they started searching for Rob that night, and then his parents, Brian and Sandy, were notified early the next morning that their son was missing, and they caught a flight arriving in the Florida Keys at 5 a.m. February 1st.
Okay.
So now we're one day past him disappearing. Mm-hmm. Well, like 12 hours after he disappeared. So the Coast Guard, Sheriff's Office, locals with their own planes and boats, the Fire Department, Border Patrol, and even Horizon Divers, and Horizon Divers' attorney, his name was Rob Jenny, all participated in the search for Rob.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know why you looked at me like that.
Because it's important.
You're like, this is a little... Hey, remember this part.
Yeah.
Okay. She gave me those eyes, so I was telling you guys
remember this part.
Rob Jenny, attorney for Horizon Divers.
And Horizon Divers was who?
Brock's.
Nope. Peter's company.
Sorry, so many dude names.
Yep. So usually a good old-fashioned search is 24 hours. They planned on extending the search to 48 hours. And then at the end of the 48 hours, Rob's body had still not been found. Just as the Coast Guard was going to call off the search, Brian, his dad, begged for just one more day, which was granted. So Rob was found on the third day of the search during the second to last planned search of the bottom of the ocean. So he was found by an ROV, which I didn't look up, but it's like one of those little robotic underwater, how they found the Titanic kind of thing.
Yep.
So they found him.
Robotically operated vehicle.
Yeah, probably. Fuck off. So they found him 220 feet under the surface and 300 feet away from where he was spotted last.
So he just drifted down, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And here's when things get messy.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So there's time-stamped footage from the ROV from when Rob was found, and then further footage of when the 3-man dive team was sent down to recover Rob. So according to Dr. Tom Beaver, the Monroe County coroner, he was supposed to be on scene overseeing that like evidence in the handling of Rob's body wasn't mismanaged.
Yep.
Tom actually claims that he tried to contact the lead investigator, Tom Bressler, just to make it more confusing.
Goodness gracious. Can we get a different name?
But he kept getting redirected between people. Bresler said that he didn't receive an email or any notifications from Tom Beaver until after the searches. Because he's like, guys, I've got other things to do than like check my email.
Right.
So you are, so according to Tom Beaver, you were supposed to simply attach a float line to the body and allow it to drift upward. That didn't happen. He said that you could see the divers jostling like the body around, like handling a lot more than they should ever be handled. And then Rob was finally sent up and pulled out of the water onto Horizon Divers' boat, which Tom Bresler, the lead investigator, Rob Jenny, the attorney, and a couple of other divers from Horizon Divers were on that boat.
Okay.
So they're the ones that found him. So also according to Tom Beaver, there was an uncomfortably long span of time between when the divers made it to Rob and then by the time that he was brought up to the boat.
Okay.
Because they were down in the water longer than what's typical of a recovery.
Rescue.
Mm-hmm. It's not a rescue, it's a recovery.
Yeah.
And then Dr. Beaver says that, well, he doesn't says, he actually played it in the documentary I watched. He has audio from when Rob was brought onto the Horizon Divers boats with the insurance lawyer for Horizon Divers, stating that the Coast Guard was a mile away and that the team on the boat, quote, will transfer the body over as soon as we do some forensics.
Their own forensics?
Mm-hmm.
Seems a little shady.
Mm-hmm.
Divers, historically good forensic scientists.
And insurance lawyers.
Yeah, and lawyers, yep. They're usually doctors anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the Coast Guard arrived 3 to 5 minutes later to retrieve Rob. There's no record of any types of forensics done from the lead investigator, any of the crew of divers, or the lawyer. So according to Tom Beavers, the coroner, it's their word against everyone else's. Tom Bresler simply says they did their job.
Mm-hmm. What was their job exactly?
To recover his body. Duh. That insurance lawyer really needs to find that body. Mm-hmm. Allegedly. Don't. I'm just saying. I just, like, at first when I was like, because I wasn't going to watch the documentary, I'm like, I can probably find some sort of something that has the synopsis of this documentary. Yeah. And I'm reading through the articles and I'm like, nothing fucking says anything about how the fuck there's alleged evidence tampering. And then I watched the documentary and it got to the thing about like the first people that touched his body out of the water was the lead investigator, which is great, fine, whatever. The lawyer and 2 divers from the company that they took with them. I was like, oh,
that was liable probably for his safety.
Yes, this is why he says that there's evidence tampering.
Yeah.
Because a lot of this accusation the evidence tampering is coming from Dr. Tom Beaver.
Yeah.
The coroner. So finally, Beavers makes it to the docks.
Does Beaver specialize in underwater coronations?
Yes, so he used to be a diver. He has 17 years or something like that worth of...
That was literally just a Beaver joke, but you jumped all over it. Like, yes, he was actually.
I went over my head. Oh, yeah. Yes, I guess, yes, Tom Beavers is an expert
I've heard
in
he's
beaver diving.
Damn good coroner. No?
Oh, God. I missed out on it, and I'm so disappointed with myself.
It's fine. I still got around to the punchline.
So, yes, he actually is an expert diver. He's dove for years.
Damn good coroner.
And, yes, and the damn good coroners... The coroners, the policy is that they're actually supposed to be there when bodies are recovered, and he wasn't brought onto scene until after Rob was brought back to the land.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Beavers go in between water and land.
Yeah, they need to dam that up. So Beavers finally makes it to the docks, where he makes himself a nice little home, and then he talks to the police, and he takes custody of Rob's body. So when he arrived at the beach, Tom was told that Rob was an inexperienced diver that had never used a rebreather before and that he had panicked and shot up toward the surface.
Okay.
Yep. And the media ran with that narrative.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Good.
And then they realized that Rob was actually a well-trained dive instructor himself with upwards of 10,000 dives in his lifetime and had already used rebreathers to get footage for the first shark water.
Nope, first time.
Mm-hmm.
Just noob diver over here.
Yep. So the misguidance that was directed at Tom, it made him sus. He was like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of mix-up from people that should be reputable. I'm going to look into this. So he did some digging, and it made him even more sus. In the meantime, Rob's parents were grieving and waiting to have a funeral for him. They were able to bury him near the end of February because he had to go through his autopsy.
Do you know the one Rod Stewart song you probably know that you don't realize is Rod
It's
Stewart?
like right probably at the like edge of my brain.
It's the Have I Told You Lately That I Love You song.
Oh, God.
Have I told you lately? Anyway, they played it at Country Market when I worked there. When
yeah?
I Googled it, that like came up like on everything.
You're like, oh my gosh, this
Top
haunts
10
my
Rod.
dreams still.
There's probably actual Rod Stewart fans out there like, that's not his best song. His best song is the... Tweet at us, bro.
His best song is Tweet at Us, bro.
No.
He
I'm
was
saying,
ahead of his time. A real innovator.
If I'm missing the Rod Stewart mark, just tweet us at TMSDpod and tell me what your favorite Rod Stewart banger is, because that's the only song I know.
I need a drink.
I shouldn't have a drink. Have I told you lately that I love you? Ooh. He's 77. Sir Roderick David Stewart, CBE, is a British rock and pop song. I don't know what CBE fucking stands for. He's Scottish and English ancestry. He's a knight, though. He's Sir Roderick David Stewart. I don't know what CBE
Right up there
stands
with
for.
Elton John.
What do you think CBE stands for?
I have no idea. Celebrated something or another.
King George V, that's the fifth, right? Mm-hmm. Created the Order of the British Empire Awards during World War I to reward service to the war effort by helping people back in the UK, i.e. not on the front line.
Stupid. Oh, probably influential people that are like keeping people's morals up and stuff.
CB is the third highest of the Order's 5 ranks. Only the top 2 can use Sir or Dame. Sorry. Anyway.
Are you done?
No, I'm just going down the rabbit hole.
Okay.
I like when you announce it. You're going to make a joke.
Yep.
Hold on. I got this funny joke. Let's restart. Just kidding. What's your joke?
No, I was just simply going to say, since the year 2022 is the year of the death of a celebrity, he's going to be the next one that goes.
Rod Stewart?
Yeah.
How dare you say that?
You said he was 77 years old?
Yeah, that's not 97.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. 2022 hates us already.
Right. Ask Mother Vizzy and let's power on here.
It's taken some icons. Why not take him too?
Right?
Okay. R.I.P. Rod Stewart.
Rest in princehood or sirhood. We did look up during the break that he's Sir Roderick Stewart.
Of course, it's Roderick.
He's been knighted by the British Empire
for the 5th Order of
third out of the 5th Order. CBE.
CBE.
Commander of the British Empire.
Yep.
Which makes it sound so much like Star Wars.
It does. So
Rod Stewart is dropping in. Hello there.
With his little weird rat tail braid.
Yeah, that's like the on the fly Rod Stewart impression you get out of me. He does have kind of a ratty voice too.
I did not put where in my notes that I stopped. There we go. Okay. There we go. Found it. All right. I was farther down this. Yeah, I was farther down the page than I thought. So in the meantime, his parents were grieving and waiting for a funeral to have for Rob. Uh-huh. They were able to bury him at the end of February. And on March 28th, 2018. Mm-hmm. Nope, just kidding. 2017. It was just a couple months later.
Okay.
His parents filed a wrongful death suit against Horizon Divers /Ad Helium /Peter Solis, accusing Peter of negligence, stating that it was his job as a teacher to, 1, allow Rob on the boat first to ensure his safety. Mm-hmm. 2, they are alleging that Peter was using a non-standard mixture of gases in the rebreather that was not up to U.S. safety standards. And 3, that Peter never should have allowed Rob to join him, or that the crew should have just cut the line and left it. What are you giggling at?
Your dog's just... Look at her. Hold on. No, I'm not going to edit this out. Just look at your dog. She's losing her mind over there. I have no idea what she's doing.
I put catnip there 3 nights ago.
Dog nip, apparently.
And she's just loving it.
She's just getting after
it. Her foot is like on the couch and she's just scooching herself.
She's like, I saw the cat doing this. Now I must do this. Anyway, I didn't want to detract from your story. She was just losing her absolute mind. So she was like literally like gator rolling on the rug.
She
and I was like, what is going on?
She was. She's just practicing her army crawl.
Something.
She's just a little stupid.
And now she's back on my feet. All right, proceed.
Yep. So they're also upset that the crew should have just left the line because it wasn't worth going down for a third dive.
Yeah.
Typically, you don't do deep dives that many times in a day. But according to Peter, you do. So like when I was watching the interviews, like every diver that they pulled up, and then the guy who did the research into it was also a diver, and the coroner was a diver. Everybody's a diver, and all of them are like, no, you do not do long tech dives more than once a day. And
yeah, you gotta let your body like find that equilibrium.
Yeah,
again.
but Peter is insistent that
what a dick.
Yeah, Peter is insistent
that's a Peter joke.
that it's a normal thing to do. That he's done it on multiple occasions. He's done.
I'm sure he has.
He's done like 3 or 4 of the dives like that, like a day, and it's been fine. But
what a Peter.
But literally, like 3 other divers that they're talking to are like, "No, you don't, bro. That's not safe." I'm just trying to look at it from all angles. To be fair, though, like the Peter guy's business is fully bankrupt and he doesn't really have a job anymore. So there's a lot of bitterness in this case.
Not like when you say in this case, I mean like in an actual lawsuit
court case,
too.
Yeah,
not just like in this situation.
Yeah. So Peter claims that he was not on that dive as a teacher, but as a guest, so that he did nothing wrong. There was no like obligation for him to let everybody else on the boat first.
Yeah.
And if he was a bad instructor, he would have left a trail of bodies by now.
Because I don't know if that's a defense, but sure.
But like if
I sucked at this wouldn't be the only dead body on my hands.
Pretty much. Because diving is not that safe.
That's some sort of weird
flex
admittance / defense all at the same time.
Nice flex, bro.
Yeah.
Only one person's died. But he's been doing this for like 25 plus years.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
And the dude you were diving with has 10,000. Like he's in.
Yeah.
Like it. I understand his saying like, hey, it's kind of like a. Yeah. I get why. I wouldn't say he's at fault. Like that's.
Well, people are really insistent that Rob was really big on safety and like not pushing
the limits.
And then in this case, he did, and there's a lot of going back and forth with he said, she said, and pointing fingers and stuff. So it's very convoluted.
Yeah.
So Tom Beavers continued digging. He sent just digging those dams. So
you dig a dam.
Yeah, you got to dig the mud to build the dam, right? No?
Sticks.
No, they use mud and stuff too. How do you think the sticks stick together?
They just flap their big ass tails.
They just pulverize them and it turns them into putty, and then he adds more sticks to it.
I just imagine if you took a ping pong paddle and slapped mud. That's what a beaver sounds like.
And it's gonna smell like vanilla the whole time.
Oh,
do you think that's how they figured it out? They just went to a river and they're like, man, these mounds of dirt, they smell so good.
It's like a fucking Bath and Body Works up in this bitch. Oh, that's just the beavers. They're big on aesthetics.
They're anal secretions.
Yeah. They just got a fresh batch of incense.
So
in their ass sense. Anyway. Is it anal glands?
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So Tom Beavers continued digging. So he sent the rebreather that Rob used up to Panama City for the U.S. Navy to investigate.
Okay.
They found nothing wrong with the apparatus, and Tom found nothing unusual about Rob's manner of death. He said that it was very typical of a drowning with just a small amount of water in his lungs. There's also no evidence of decompression sickness, which is the bends. Yep, where you go up too fast, it causes nitrogen bubbles in your blood and you die. Which goes against what the initial narrative was, that he just
so
panicked.
Cutthroat about it.
Yes. Well, what can I say? I'm
You
eloquent.
go up too fast, you go down too fast.
You're gonna die. So
your friend's gonna die.
but that goes against the fact that he had found no evidence for the bends. Goes against the initial narrative that he was told that he panicked and shot up too quickly.
Yeah,
because he would have found nitrogen in his blood. Mm-hmm. And so based on what happened to Peter getting on the boat, nearly passing out, getting better when he was given oxygen, Tom came to the conclusion that both men suffered from hypoxia, which is a lack of oxygen to the organs.
Oh, that's
and
not
it
good.
it can cause full system failure.
I think they need that.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm not a doctor.
Yeah, but I think oxygen. I remember back in like 3rd grade, it's important.
Seems important.
Yeah. So this hypoxia caused Rob to pass out, which then caused him to no longer have control of the breathing loop, and then he drowned. Mm-hmm. But Tom Beavers still feels like there's a lot more to the story and is still wanting answers for the extended time with Rob's body before getting it into the boat, and then the suspicious recording once he was on the boat with the Horizon Divers insurance lawyer. And eventually, Tom Beavers was fired from his job, but rumors throughout the Florida Keys scuba community spread that he lost his job.
I just feel like a bunch of guys in like board shorts and flip flops be like, "Yeah, man, you hear what happened to Rob, man? Yeah, man." Sorry. They apparently all sound like California bros, even though they're Floridian scoobers. Is that what they call themselves?
Floridians?
No.
Meth
There's no way they call
usually
themselves
what they call
scuba
themselves.
divers. They got to have a shorter name.
I think just divers.
Scoobers.
Yes, the scoobers. So rumors spread throughout the Florida Keys scuba community that
there has to be a diving company called Scuba Doo, right? Like Scooby Doo.
If not, there needs to be
Like a mystery machine, like scuba diving.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just have like big purple floral on
they
their
have a giant
on their
dog
boat
that swims with you.
Yep. And then they've got like shag green carpet on their boat. It's gotta look good.
Yeah, and your scuba mask is actually like a villain's mask, and you take it off when you come out of the water. And like,
Yes.
oh, it was you all along. Anyway,
Got some ghillie suits. It'll be great.
perfect.
So the rumors that he lost his job because of the rift between him and the state's attorney general and the community as a whole, since no one really liked Tom Beavers, so no one trusted his opinion. Like
Also,
the upper echelon, not like the scuba
We
diver.
have Rob Stewart, which is one letter away from Rod Stewart, and Tom Beaver, which is one letter away from Tom Seaver. You're just so close to being like a really great movie here. You don't know who Tom Seaver is, and I just saw that look in your eye. I'll show you a
Who's
picture.
Tom Seaver?
You'll know who Tom Seaver is. Hold on. This is called Tiff's
so-
Not As Old As Me, and sometimes
I'm literally 360, 2 days younger than you?
Tom Seaver was a baseball player.
Okay.
Okay.
That's because I don't do sports.
Yeah, you're not going to know who Tom Seaver is.
No, absolutely not.
I was like, you won't know him when you saw him.
No. If it's not like
He died in 2020,
Aaron
by the
Rodgers,
way.
dude, 2020 is just the year that keeps on giving. It's a good year, guys. It was great.
He passed away peacefully, it says in his obit here.
Was it from the Rhone?
I have no idea.
Oh, that's so sad.
He was 70.
He was 77? Was he 77?
He was 75.
Oh, I was going to say it's full circle.
It was
telling you.
complications of Lewy body dementia and COVID-19.
Oh,
I don't know what Lewy body dementia is, but
sounds
it
horrible.
Great. Yeah.
COVID-19 also sounds horrible. Oh, could you imagine having the Rhone and not really understanding what's going on?
He pitched 311 games and had 2.86 ERA. That's great.
Is it?
Struck out 3,600 batters over a 20-year career.
Wow, please tell me more.
I know you love baseball stats. You've never heard of the name Tom Seaver?
Absolutely not.
I bet you most baseball fans haven't.
I'm-
We don't have a ton of... I'm going to go out on a limb here. So we don't have a ton of baseball fans that listen. But Tom
I don't know. We did that episode on MJ.
Tom Seaver is like the Walmart brand of Nolan Ryan. Have you heard of Nolan Ryan? You've never heard of fucking Nolan Ryan? Okay.
We've gone off the rails.
Also, remind me that you and I... Okay, this is off the rails. I told you I was going to show you And One Mixtape YouTube videos because you've never seen And One Mixtapes. So you don't understand my childhood. So we need to do that after this.
Okay.
I'm actually going to Google YouTube And One Mixtapes while you read so that after we're done, it will be on my phone. And
All
I'll
right.
be like,
We have 2 more paragraphs. You ready?
nope.
Okay. Now are
Go
you
ahead.
ready? All right.
No, yeah.
Okay. Tom is sus. Eventually he was fired because there's a problem between the state's attorney general and kind of like the upper echelon of the community, but the scuba diving community defends him. Like there was one diver that they were talking to was like they ripped him a new one. There are people up there that like didn't even know him, never even worked with him, just talking about how horrible of a human being he is. And so he's been ostracized from like Florida Keys.
Mm-hmm.
So the sheriff's office says that they can't be involved with the case, that it's underneath the Coast Guard's jurisdiction, and I could find nothing recent about the pending court case since like an update that I randomly found around like November 2020 that included all of the like twists and turns with the evidence situation.
Okay.
And there hasn't been an update really since.
So it's still ongoing?
Yes. As far as I
that
can
is
tell.
weird when it happens out in the middle of the ocean. Like, that's got to be kind of a tricky court case to start
Yes,
with.
especially when there's a lot of what feels like alleged blatant misdirection.
Well, and it kind of does feel like it's just an unfortunate situation.
Mm-hmm.
And the parents, I'm sure, like trying to seek out some sort of like justice for what
happened. Yeah, because this man was making a huge difference. Like, they got letters after he died from people that are like, I watched the original Shark Water and it changed my entire life, and now I'm a marine biologist because of it.
Yeah,
like,
or a vegan.
Yep. Yes, or vegan. And they knew that there was going to be some sort of civil case, and if they do find actual evidence of tampering, that can become a federal case, because it was a high-profile person that died.
Yeah.
Because it turns out diving deaths are not that uncommon in the Florida Keys.
Fun.
Yeah, but because tourism is their bread and butter, according to the third dive documentary and a shit ton of articles that were written for the CBC.
Yeah, that's what the Keys are. Yeah, it's
yep.
Tourist destination.
A lot of the deaths are swept underneath the rug because of all of the, quote, negative impacts.
Oh, yeah.
Of the deaths.
What was that movie?
Was it The Asteroid?
No, it was the one with the British guy.
Oh, that doesn't help.
No, it doesn't. Ah, shit. Where he's a police officer.
Hot Fuzz?
Yes. Where they're like, we have to sweep all this bad publicity under the rug, so we want to be like the safest town or whatever.
Yes.
If you haven't seen Hot Fuzz,
they're awesome.
Pick whatever influence you want, get under it, and then watch Hot Fuzz.
Yes.
And it's so.
We should watch A&1. Fuck The Witcher. We're watching A&1 mixtapes.
A&1 mixtapes.
And Hot Fuzz.
Yeah. Well, first off, we won't find that much on A&1 mixtapes. Probably.
We do have Hot Fuzz and hard copy.
No,
upstairs.
We don't.
What?
Shout out Alora. She doesn't listen to the podcast. She
oh my
borrowed
god, you let them borrow her. That was like a fucking decade ago. It feels like
it was the combo Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead combo pack.
Alora.
She
I
does not
know
listen.
where you live.
She does not listen to this.
We're gonna steal
anyway
that back and her cute little dog.
Yes. So we're just gonna show up at their house. Knock, knock, knock. Hello, we're here for my movie.
Right now at midnight.
Yeah.
So between 2013 and 2017, 36 people had died in scuba or snorkeling related deaths.
That's 3 dozen.
Only half of those were reported to the media.
Okay.
Yeah. Usually,
I thought it was gonna be a higher number than 36. And 36 is a lot.
Oh no.
But I was waiting for you to be like 114.
I have a higher number for you.
Great.
Yep.
Okay, hit me with it. Is it 114?
No.
Okay, that'd be creepy.
Within a 10-year span, according to the Divers Alert Network, more than 700 divers have died in Canada and the U.S., and only 60 of them were Canadian.
Wait.
That's important because you realize just how unsafe diving in the United States is.
True, but it's just a weird, like...
That was important for the Canadians they knew it was only 60.
Canada has more coastline than the U.S.?
Absolutely.
I mean, a lot of it's in, like, tundra-y regions.
Yes.
But, like...
where they live? No. Like, 90% of them live within 300 miles of the border.
I was just thinking, I was like, how much coastline does fucking Canada have?
That's actually that you can go swimming in? Not much.
No. Just actual... Because, I mean, like, Alaska's got more coastline than Michigan. So
Alaska's almost as big as, like, the 48 states. So, yes, yeah. I believe that.
So, like, when I just think about that, I'm like, how fucking...
They also have a lot of little tiny islands that, like, you count that as coastline.
Anyway.
Some volcanoes.
This is
permafrost.
Where does Scott's brain go at 10 o'clock at night?
Yep.
Welcome. That should be its own podcast.
Let's look up we want to know every single country's coastlines.
Most coastline by country, Russia might win.
Probably.
I'm going to ask Google real quick.
Wait, is that how we're going to finish it? Is you looking up the country with the most coastline?
Which countries have the most coastline? Doom, doom, doom. Russia wins. With how much? Okay, how many millions of square miles of coastline do you think Russia has?
Just say. Stop.
How many millions of coastline?
Millions of coastline?
Yes.
56 million.
No. 6.612 million square miles of coastline for Russia.
That is fucking insane.
6.6. What do you think Canada's at then? It's second. Canada is second.
I'm going to go 3.
3.85.
Oh, wow.
Who do you think's third?
Not us.
If you get this correct.
It's China.
It's not. It's Australia.
Oh, that was going to be my next. Yeah, no, that makes... China only has one
I would bet
border.
I would bet our new car, you can't guess who's fourth. Doom, 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 doom.
Not us.
Correct. Correct. It's Indonesia.
Okay, also not fair because they also have a shit ton of little islands.
We're 7th on the list.
Wow. Really?
No. No, we're not. This is not numerical order. Oh, come on, Google. Anyway, Russia 6.6, Canada 3.8, U.S. is 3.79.
That's, yes, seems much more appropriate. When you're
China's
like, we're
3.7.
7th, I'm like, no, we're not.
This is not, and Indonesia is not 4th. What
I mean,
is
I
this
understand
list?
that Australia is an island in and of itself, but there's a lot less inlets. It's kind of just
Brazil has 3.2 million. Anywho, sorry, I'm just trying to put all this into numerical order in my head. Anyway, this is boring. I'm bored. So let's edit all this out.
Okay.
Not really. You've all listened to all this.
and now you know useless information like the United States has the third longest amount of coastlines.
No, it doesn't.
You said third. You said 6.8 for Russia, 3.8 for Canada, and 3.79 for the United States.
Oh, yeah, 3.70 for China. There could be more, though, because who knows what this weird list I got from fucking Google is. Anyway.
Oh, sources.
Sources
Google.
besides coastline.
I have a paragraph.
If you made it to like minute whatever 55 this is, or who knows.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations.
Yes. Also, what are you thinking for next week's topic? What vibes are you feeling? True crimey?
Yeah, true crimey.
Back to our roots?
Yeah.
Okay. I could go for a mythological beast soon, too.
Okay, we can do that.
Like Nessie. Have we done Nessie
I
yet?
haven't done Nessie. I love Nessie.
Do you? Mm-hmm. Has Nessie ever done anything bad, allegedly?
No.
Okay. No, that was a legitimate question because like there's all
not that I know
there's
of.
all this lore about it, but I'm like, has it ever attacked anyone? Like, why does everyone like...
I mean, I'm sure there's people that claim that they attacked it, but it's probably just like a narwhal bumping their boat or something.
I did watch a Ghost Adventures once when they were in wherever the fuck, like around Loch Ness, and they were like, you get $1 million if you catch it on footage. That was not Ghost Adventures. That was Expedition Unknown.
Tell me more about these dumb shows you watch. Like I don't live with you.
There's not many.
So anyway, my sources are the Third Dive documentary by Robert Osborne, Wikipedia, a crap ton of articles from the CBC. I'm going to run through these without breathing. Wish me luck. One.
You should use your rebreather.
Yes. The Third Dive, The Third Dive Death of Robert Stewart, Family Files lawsuit in Canadian filmmaker Florida Keys dive death, Canadian filmmaker Rob Stewart missing after Florida dive, filmmaker Rob Stewart's death wasn't an anomaly, and a Miami Herald article, sharkwater diver drowned after lack of oxygen on the surface, autopsy says, and then scubadiverlife.com, The Third Dive, what really happened to Rob Stewart. Had to take a breath. And then I also found a Talks at Google interview with Rob on YouTube and a CBC interview called Rob Stewart's Family Fights to Finish Sharkwater Extinction, which was an interview with his parents.
Terrific.
That is my paragraph of sources.
Wow.
No one gives a shit.
So sourced.
No one gives a shit except for the American government.
Right? Today's the 24th.
Yep.
Which means this episode will come out the 25th.
Yes.
Which means the next episode that comes out will be our bonus episode on Patreon.
Oh, yay.
If you...
Subscribe.
Yes. If you go on Patreon, we have a backlog of like 6 or 7 episodes, and then another one comes out usually the last day of every month because that's how I roll, because I'm in charge of those ones. So if you desperately need more of us, which first... tell your
After this, if you made it through this...
Tell your counselor that.
You definitely want more of us. This one went off the rails.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
But
we're still talking?
Yes.
Jesus
But anyway,
Christ.
so the next episode that technically comes out will be on Patreon if you want to listen to that.
It's $1.
Yeah, you can get it at all 3 levels. And then if not, you'll hear from us next Tuesday.
Sounds good.
Huzzah.
And I got to find a true crime topic.
Yeah, you do.
I've got a bunch of them.
Do you?
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
Backlogs.
Okay.
Lists. I have screenshots.
Me too.
Do you now?
Yeah.
Okay.
And a whole notes on my phone.
All right, this is
Meandered long enough?
very much so.
Okay, have you made it this far?
Congrats. I haven't made it this far. I edited all this out.
Oh, shit.
Ah, damn it. All right, thanks for listening.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye.
Oof, that was terrible. Thanks for listening to our terrible podcast. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, or wherever you like to listen. Feel free to follow us on Twitter at TMSTPod.
And if you'd like to support the show, you can find us on Patreon at Tell Me Something Terrible.